Hello, everybody. Hope you guys are well. Hope you guys are hearing me fine. I hope you guys are ready for a fantastic Monday. What a way to end a month coming up. Tomorrow's the last day of the month. So if you have some things and some deals that you need to close, let's get those done so you can enjoy the success of a successful first month of the year. I wanted to say thank you for those of you that are joining me today. I did something a little bit different this day. I didn't do a lot of emails, a lot of reminders, and maybe I should because we'd have more people here. But today we're going to talk about the disciplines of selling. And I like to cover this topic because of how important it is for you to develop the right daily habits and disciplines to power you through. And I hope this is helpful for you. I will have some time and space for some questions, whether it's talking about sales in general, or you're talking about our app and how we do things here at CallProof. I want to let you know that we also have our team here with CallProof. If you have any questions, they'll put them in the notes in the chat. Happy to bring those up and have some deeper conversations with all of you. But without further ado, I'd like to get started here. All right, first things first, success is just the result of daily disciplines realized. Your bank deposit's a reflection of the value that you have created. And in sales, value is created when you solve problems with the solutions you sell. I'm getting basic, folks, but we must find the customers have the types. We must find the right customers who have the right problem that we have a solution for. Ultimately, it's a matter of putting ourselves in front of a decision maker with the same level of pain. And it all involves consistency. I want to ask yourself, what are you already doing consistently in sales that's working for you? I want you to also take a moment in time to think about what is it, if you were to add into your daily, that would have a major impact on your world. One of the things I learned early on in sales is if I was not consistent, my paycheck was also inconsistent. And the consistency of the habits that rewarded me with sales were always relating to getting in front of new potential prospects, getting in front of new potential sales. One of the reasons most sales organization has a sales pipeline is because the goal is to fill the pipeline. If you have an empty pipeline, it means that you need to spend some time and energy on people that would likely buy so you can put them in your funnel. A sales funnel, if you are a sales manager or leader, is critical to giving you a predictive analysis of what your sales are going to be. If I see someone with an empty sales funnel, what typically that means is they may have filled the funnel up many, many months and spent a lot of time and energy closing deals. And then they find that they've spent a lot of time closing the deals, and then now they're going to have to spend a lot of time filling that funnel. So the consistency of keeping the funnel full is a daily process. You cannot keep your eye off the ball, because when all those sales opportunities fall out because they didn't buy or maybe you closed, you got to stay in that process to keep that funnel full. So, and that's all revolving around consistency. To sell is just to be in front of prospects on a daily, consistent basis. That's all it is. Finding those opportunities and being with them on a regular basis. Now, what I've said before, and I'll say again, if you wanted to change your business tomorrow, overnight, all you need to do is follow up with the people you've already spoken to. The average company only follows up. This is the average sales rep 2 times before it becomes a customer. So what that tells me is, the second thing is the top 1% talk to them and touch them for 12 times before it's a customer. So what that tells me is we have to touch more, and most of us aren't touching enough. And that's including me. Everything that I teach here or everything I talk about, it's not like I know it better than anybody else. I'm only regurgitating the same thing you've heard from other people. I'm only regurgitating things that you already know. I'm not giving you anything new, but this is the awareness of things that we pay attention to, things that we do together. If you are aware that you're not doing enough follow-up, just do that. I mean, if you walked away from this call right now and just did more follow-up, you're going to have some success. But staying consistent with following up with people every single day is important. Now, we just have to touch more if we're going to sell more. Now, so all we have to do is be in front of more people saying the right things daily. And so back to the question again, what is the daily discipline that you could do that would have a major impact? Now, let's go ahead and talk about what we're already doing. These are daily disciplines that I have mastered. Every day I shower. Every day I brush my teeth. I kind of comb my hair. I just use my hands. And then I'm always dressing, right? We all do this. And how have we mastered this? Well, first off, it took my mom and dad nagging me to shower. Okay? When I was little, I don't want to shower, but it was this nagging thing that they did. And I thank God that it sunk in and I don't stink. But there were some consequences for not showering, right? Brushing our teeth. It's just a daily habit. Ask yourself this question. The disciplines that you already have that you're successful at, whether it's personal, whether it's business, ask yourself, what developed that habit for you? I will speak in generalities. I will speak in what worked for me, but you have your own way of developing your habit. I did, and I've talked about this many times about 75 Hard. 75 Hard is a exercise program, takes 75 days, 2 workouts a day, drink a gallon of water, no drinking, read 15 pages, take a status photo of yourself. One of those workouts has to be outside, and then eating healthy. Now, this is 75 days, but I will tell you the program, as I discovered, is not necessarily a fitness program. It is relating to a little bit of fitness, but it's really a habit building program that forces you to get really good at your calendar, at your time management. I promise you this, when you're drinking a gallon of water, you're going to have a lot of distractions because you're going to have to go whiz every now and then. But having those daily disciplines mattered for many aspects after those 75 days, because some of the things that I realized during that process was reading 15 pages it was actually 10 pages, was quite hard in the beginning because I had been out of the habit of reading. And then I got to rediscover reading. And so the reading daily has become a thing for me. So, I've heard these words before, and this has been proven that I've heard this before. It takes 21 days to develop a habit. Well, they've scientifically proven that's not the case. There's other components around habit building that matter. So find out what works for you. But I will tell you, finding a way to do this on the daily is going to make a lot of sense. So a lot of these process all started young, and something else that you'll notice about these things, they're in the morning. That's a real key component of these things. It is scientifically more liable that you're going to start a habit and stay in that habit if you do it in the morning. It's much less likely to happen in the afternoon. That's just what it is. But I will tell you that's actually fantastic because I believe that the morning is the best time to follow up with customers. I believe that the morning is the best time to call them. I think the morning is the best time to go visit them. So I like the morning to do these types of habits. So what do we do next? We start with a goal. What is the overarching goal that matters to you? Now, it could be a sales goal. It could be I want to add X number of customers to my sales funnel goal. It could be I'm going to touch every person that was a prospect over the last 3 years again within a period of time. Have SMART goals. Make sure they're easily definable so you understand where we are going, and then ask yourself, what are the activities necessary to get where you need to be. Okay. And that could mean face-to-face visits. It could be calls, emails, LinkedIn, networking, all of those things. But be specific on what the activity is necessary to get that goal. I'm a big believer in thinking of things in terms of something that I can do in 30 days. If you could stay consistent for 30 days, that's a good move. You know, a lot of people want to live in a 90-day world, which is something I teach a lot of my organizations with, is how important living in a 90-day world. And one way to also do that is think of seasons, okay? You know, think of a show, and what happens in a lot of shows, they'll build a season around a relationship or a topic during that season. Often you see that with podcasts or whatnot. They'll have a kind of story around that. And you may want to think about a story for you, what might mean something. So it might mean, I'm going to do 25 face-to-face visits a day for 4 solid weeks with the goal of adding my best possible prospects to my funnel. And then maybe you go to season 2, which would be take all those people that you've met and then go visit them again, and then go visit them again. So it could be like you find your targeted list, all the people you added to your funnel, and maybe your mission in season 2 is actually to have actual meetings with each one of those to get them into a presentation, maybe a proposal, and then maybe even a close. What is very typical for people that start to sell and start to get super busy is they forget about the importance, okay? The importance of the follow-up, the importance of the finding new opportunities. If you're lucky enough to already have a list of targeted customers that you already have a relationship and you're just maintaining that relationship, you may want to think about these seasons differently. You may want to think about these habits a little bit differently than I'm describing them. But all is the same in the fact that figure out what in your mind is your overarching goal and the activities for each one of those, and kind of break those into a season for you. So you can have that sensation of going from one section to another, because it can get boring and monotonous, and maybe you don't have as much value. I've noticed in my past in selling that a sales tactic that I was doing for a while works, and then it suddenly seems to not work. And it's either I've changed my energy around it, I've gotten bad at it, or the market has changed, or whatever the reason. And so going from season to season is another way to kind of reinvigorate you on the process. Track it and post it, okay? One of the things that I learned through the 75 program as well is you took a picture of yourself every day. And because you had all these things to do, like the consequence of the program, this is another thing that I just remembered that I don't even have in the slide, is what is your consequence for not doing your goal or your habit? You could create a consequence. And the consequence of the 75 Hard program was it started over, right? It started over. Now, to be completely honest, my first 75 days, I neglected one photo and I was supposed to restart. I didn't restart, okay? Now, if I missed a workout or one of those things, I would have felt guilt, but the picture was not much of a thing for me. But figure out, don't beat yourself up, but I want you to challenge yourself, because part of what I got out of that program and this habit is the happiness and satisfaction of doing the work, doing the hard things. And all of these things about disciplines are naturally rewarding to you in just the fact that you're just checking it off the list. And so what I had to do, because there were so many steps in the 75 Hard program to do, I literally had to write down the steps on my bathroom mirror so I could see them, and I would check them off through the day. Before I went to bed, I was brushing my teeth and I was like, oh, I totally forgot to read. The biggest challenge with all of this is when you travel, right? When you travel, that kind of mucks things up, or a vacation mucks things up, but kind of plan ahead for that. But when I say track it, have it on a piece of paper. Have it somewhere you can look at it and hold yourself accountable to do it. And then post it somewhere. Also, something that is incredibly helpful for all of you is to take a moment every day, 15 minutes. If you just spent 15 minutes a day, just can we mute? We got someone that's unmuted. If you could get that for me, Ashley. All right, no worries. I get distracted with the random noises here. So so 15 minutes of pre-work, and what that is line up your day. Spend your time on paper before the day begins. The universe is aiming to get you off your schedule unless you decide to be the controller of your universe by mapping out your time on paper first. Dave Ramsey talks about spend your money on paper before the month begins. Same thing with your time. Spend the time on paper today before it begins, and just literally map out hour by hour where your focus is going to be. If you can make your habits at a particular time in the day, you can block that off in the calendar. You can use your calendar to be your accountability buddy. Because think about it. If you I'm going to be doing calls from 10 to 11 for follow-up, put that in your calendar. It'll block it out. Nobody else can book your time. Nobody can distract you. You can just focus on those calls. Reward yourself. Think of something special that you would love to get. Maybe it's something you've thought about on Amazon. Maybe it's something that's big. Maybe it's something insignificant. Maybe it's something with your spouse. Maybe it's just a date. Maybe it's a restaurant and something that you can enjoy as a result of your good hard work. Put that out there. Maybe it is a weekly treat that you'll do. I'm going to go have some ice cream on Friday afternoon when I've completed a successful week and I've checked everything off my list. Include a spouse into that conversation. Include them in on that. Think about how they could not only help you be accountable, but how can they help support you on your mission? You know, I have always seen that when I share my goals with people, they ask me about those, and that naturally is a accountability piece when we vocalize our intention. And this is why I tell everyone to have a great sales meeting is to have a meeting where everyone shares their intention for the week. If your intention is to go speak to 25 people a day and you say that out loud, you are programming your subconscious to do the work. You are telling the universe and yourself, this is what I'm going to do. It does not feel good to you when you vocalize something that you're going to do and you don't do. So be aware of that. Make sure that whatever you vocalize and you say you're going to do, that you actually do it, that you follow through with that. And if you are a sales leader, manager here, and you're leading a sales team and you have someone that vocalizes these things, write them down and then ask later, because that's another component. Because if they said this and they did that, get them to acknowledge that either if they did well and succeeded, recognize them, of course. But if they didn't, let's find out what kept them from it. There's lots of reasons that it could keep you from it. It could be you have something in the company that's distracting the salesperson. Maybe it's a customer support issue or things are happening in the business that's distracting your salesperson. Maybe it's a lot of phone calls from customers with issues or internal people distracting them. I tell people all the time, the most beautiful thing of the phone is I can connect with anyone on the planet. And the worst thing about the phone is that you can connect with anyone on the planet. It's two sides of the equation. It's great and it's also bad, because when you call me out of the blue, unscheduled, I'm going to answer it because I care about you. I care about who's calling me. Do they need me? And that's a distraction. You imagine you are calling your sales rep. He's in his car. He's going from place to place. He's in the zone. He is working. Think about this for a moment. Think about this. Let's use some sports analogy. I'm not in the sports, but I promise you this. On Sunday, when the game starts and you got players on the field, could you imagine calling the quarterback? Say, hey, Joe, I got this really interesting idea I want to tell you about that happened to me last week. And I have this great idea to share how we're going to get this next customer. He's like, okay, but now's a bad time. I got a ball game. Like I'm on TV right now, so I can't take the call. It's no different. Salespeople, when they're in the zone and they're ready to go do a spiel to a stranger, I mean, it takes a little bit of energy. No, it takes a lot of energy to have the courage to walk in cold and talk about your products with someone who may not be interested or maybe kicking you out. Or so think about the distractions that you give your team. And I know I'm in this giant conversation. This was also a distraction from my content, but it's not, because we built asynchronous video inside of CallProof as a way for you to internally talk to the people that matter in your business. So you can record something and they can watch it when they are ready. Asynchronously means you don't have to be live. If you click on the phone icon, if you click on the icon for CallProof, on the top center of the screen is a thing called Team. Click Team, and you can literally talk to anyone on your team asynchronously. You can use your video, both of your cameras. You can take a picture of something and talk about it. Use asynchronous video to not distract your team. Anyway, back to the reality, back to you need to have some kind of reward in play to go forward with that. And I keep saying this all day long. Have an accountability buddy. Have someone on the team with you that is also going to develop some disciplines. Listen, if I have a conversation with a sales rep and they tell me about their daily disciplines, I can pretty much determine what their sales are, but can also almost predict what their bank balance is. When I see someone who is disciplined about their calls, when I see some discipline about the level of attention they do with their follow-up, I can probably predict their types of commission pretty good, especially compared to a team of 10 people on a sales team. I can pretty much, with some conversations, tell you who the number one sales or number two salesperson in the team, because it's the clues. Success leaves clues, and most of the time it's just those daily disciplines. Having someone that you can buddy up with, A, to come up with a goal together, B, that every single day you're talking together. My wife is doing this. She wants to do a half marathon. I am not doing a half marathon. That's just not me. I just don't like to run for a long period of time like that. But she is, and she's got a buddy in Maine, and they talk every day. And it's either a text or a phone call, and they're holding each other accountable. Hey, I got my run done. And I could not tell you how many times she's got that call or text message from that her friend got the run done, and she's like, I haven't done mine yet. I got to do it. And it's just like that extra push. The extra push matters, and it feels good to have someone along the ride. If you have a spouse, that could be your accountability. But hey, sweetie, I got goals for the month. We want to go to Disney World in the summer. I want to save up, and we're going to buy that trip with my discipline. So I'm going to write my goal down by June. We're going to have this much in extra sales, but it's going to require these disciplines. Hold me accountable, because we're going to go to Disney World and show the family that disciplines matter. And it's an inspiration for your for your family. Seeing a parent getting engaged with their daily work, promise matters. I promise this matters, because they see this performance and they will mimic that in their schoolwork. They'll mimic that in their sports. I mean, we take for granted what we do in front of our kids, and they see and mimic everything we do. And they are often a just simple mirror of us. You see them lashing out. Guess what? you probably saw you lashing out, right? So it's a two-sided equation. So I have this habit tracker I want to share with you. If you have any interest, email me at robert@callproof.com. It's a one-page PDF. And the whole idea behind this tracker, if you notice on the top here, we got a habit 1, habit 2, and a habit 3. Whether it's a walk around the block, you want to do a walk every single day, put that on here. Whether it's I'm going to follow it with 10 past prospects every single day, put it on here. Now you'll notice I got Saturday and Sunday. My world, my belief is we don't work Saturday and Sundays. That's just me. Now you may have a different way you do things, but Saturday and Sunday are family time. Saturday and Sunday are me time. Saturday and Sunday is nature time. Saturday and Sunday is exercise time. It's me time. Don't do any work on the weekends. You know, Jim Rohn always said, like, when you're vacationing, you're vacationing. When you're working, you're working. You don't mix the two. And that goes for the Saturday and Sunday. You got to build up that energy to do great things. But track those. So you got your task there, put your goal here, and then commit. That little checkbox, it feels good to check it off a list. It feels good to know those things will happen. Now, what will happen as a result of this, and this is my story about how do you start to be successful. I'm going to change my screen here. Maybe I'll do it like this, or maybe I'll do it like this. The success process starts just like your lawnmower does. When I was back home living with my folks, we had this 1 acre yard. And we had a push mower. We had the worst mower on the planet. My dad paid me $10 to mow this grass. I find out after I left to go to college that my dad paid my best friend double that. So I'm still a little bitter about that. He got paid 20, I got paid 10. And it's okay. I needed to pay for rent, I guess. I guess that's how he paid me. But every spring I would go out, pull out the lawnmower, and I would bend over and I'd pull on that ripcord to start the lawnmower. And it would go, bah, 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 bah. And then I would reach down and I'd pull it in, bah, 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 bah. And then I would keep doing that process. And doing that process of pulling on that. I just look at it like I'm talking to a stranger, I'm trying. I'm talking to a stranger, I'm trying. And then every now and then you'll start to hear the gas hit the carburetor and that oxygen hit it and that, bah, 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 bah. And I keep pulling on that. But once you get the engine started, the engine was running, right? And I was able to mow. And it was so much easier the rest of the summer to mow the grass. It was like one pull. And so my message with that is, listen, try, because once you start having something work, you are programming the subconscious on the activities that are going to help you win. And guess what? It feels really good to win. It feels really, really good to win. Well, guys, I appreciate your time and energy. And if you need me, you know how to reach us at support@callproof.com. Thanks again for watching and have a fantastic day.